Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 18th. As you can see, I'm in my civvies. I have a physical therapy appointment in Yankton at 9:45. It's just a little after 8 o'clock this morning. I wrenched my knee up a little bit. Nothing bad, but just got to take care of it. The purpose of this video is not to talk to you about my physical therapy appointments, but something more serious. As I put on Facebook, and you've probably heard through other means that all weekday and weekend masses are suspended. I will still celebrate these masses as they're listed in the bulletin for the different intentions that you have provided donations for. There are several things that we need to evaluate in terms of religious education. What happens if a funeral comes up, how we are going to minister to these needs. These are very unique times, and I would say they're trying times as well. I was joking, I was in Hy-Vee yesterday, I was gonna brine a corned beef brisket and got that in the fridge last night, but a few days late, obviously, we have to wait about 5 or 7 days for it to be ready. But nonetheless, I was joking. I was in my blacks. I was joking with the cash, or the gal at the register, and I kind of jokingly said, I might start accepting toilet paper rolls in my collection basket, because honestly, I'm getting low at the house, and there hasn't been any on the shelves in stores that I go to for quite some time. I'm okay. We've got enough for right now, but push may come to shove where I need to bum off some parishioners. But all these things aside, I was gone last weekend. Many of you know that my sister died March 6th, and so I took last weekend as a time away. And it seems like the crowds were small, just from what the substitute said, but also what other people said, from the parishes. I think one of the things, yes, we were dispensed last weekend from attending Mass. What that means is that that law was relaxed. In light of what's going on, if people feel the need to protect themselves from any large crowds, any large gatherings of people, for the sake of their health, they may be compromised in one way or another. We don't need to know why or how and all those kinds of things, but we want to make sure that people are safe. One thing that I will hope to do is record my homilies. I still will prepare a weekend homily. I will give it a very brief version of it at all the Sunday masses that I celebrate, even though I'm not preaching to anyone. But I will record a kind of a full-length one to put on YouTube and Facebook. What else? I guess the mindset I hope that we have right now is not that we don't have to go to Mass anymore. I think this could be a very dangerous thing spiritually for a lot of us, is that if we get out of the practice for more than just a few weeks, we may not come back. I'm not, projecting that, onto people, but I think when we get out of the habit of doing something, it becomes very easy for that to continue. And so I hope that the way that we approach this is that we are going to miss celebrating Mass. Not just the fact that we get to be with other people, we get to see our friends and see how they're doing, which is very good, but that we can't participate in the Mass. The highest form of worship that we can offer as Catholics, and there should be some sadness about that. On days off, when I'm traveling, I'll celebrate Mass by myself. It doesn't feel right. It feels, there's something missing. And so what I hope to do, the churches they'll be open. I have not yet done this yet, but I just got cleaned up and stuff like that. But I will. The church in Tabor will be unlocked from when I wake up until I go to bed, which is usually between 10 and 11 o'clock. and I'll bump the temp up, for you to come in and pray. Um, Pray for healing from all this. Pray for those who are being affected, who have been affected, who may have died already because of this. But also, just encourage you, check in on your neighbors. For us that live in Tabor and Lesterville and Siegel, we're so used to that. It's second nature. But for those of you who may watch this, who don't live in a small community, it's easy to fall through the cracks. It's easy to let that happen to other people, and it's easy for that to happen to us. So do be assured of my prayers for you throughout this time. I will offer Mass right at 5:30 this evening like I normally do here in Tabor, and we'll continue on. Until then, I will offer some other guidances. I may send out a Mass letter. That's the easiest way to make sure that it gets to everyone in my parishes. Email's a little spotty, not everybody has it. It's hard to do phone calls and communicate all this stuff all at once. So I hope to be somewhat thorough when we do write a letter, especially, and it's not all about money. That's the furthest thing from the truth. But for us to keep our buildings operational, thank God that it's not the dead of winter and some of these heating bills could be very expensive. But we do need to maintain things as we're able to. So, as I mentioned, you are all in my prayers. I ask for your prayers for our bishop. He's leading us very beautifully, very wonderfully. And if you've not watched his video yet from yesterday, do encourage you to. I will try to link that in the description on YouTube, but also I'll share it again on Facebook. May God bless you, your families, and those that you love.